Take a moment right now in silence. We won't be interrupting you during this session. Make sure you are in a great, quiet learning environment. So if you're working from home or from a shared workspace, please do what you can to separate yourself and create that quiet space. If you have a window behind you or a bright light source, just a reminder, whether it's a new rep training session or perhaps a client meeting, you always want to be mindful as to what's behind you and try to make sure it's professional and that you're well seen in the camera view. On that note, we would ask you to stay engaged. Keep those cameras on for the full session. As part of that, we will be utilizing the chat, so go ahead and get that open right now if you would. A few of you have already done so and thrown your gifts into the chat this morning. That was or this afternoon. No, morning for most of you, especially you're on the West Coast or the Midwest. So it's either going to be at 9:30 or 11:30 right now. I don't think we have too many in the East Coast here. So let's go ahead and move on. We have the tools for teams on the top toolbar here. So again, you're in the end stretch here of your new rep journey. So I know that you're all professionals at this. You already have your chats open. I know you're great at raising your hand when you have a question for us. So right now, just drop me your favorite reaction, how you're feeling right now, maybe a heart, maybe a surprised face, ready to learn something today. All right, there we go. And if you hear something today that you really like, drop some applause, drop a heart. If you learn something, drop a surprised face. We love that interaction, as Mickey mentioned a moment ago. Please, again, make sure your cameras are on and that your microphones are muted at all times unless you intend to speak. Last but certainly not least, your attendance. So as a reminder, Mickey is not tracking your attendance and neither am I. It's actually the system itself. It knows when you log in, it knows when you leave. So if you get a phone call or have an interruption, it'll put you on hold and you won't get credit for that time within the class. So we want to do our best to make sure you're going to get completion credit for this course, especially if you're working towards that training bonus as an insurance agent. So you must attend the entire session. If you miss more than 10 minutes, guys, you're going to get that email saying that you have been dropped from the class and you need to re-enroll. So I don't want that to happen to you. If you have any issues with technology or a conflict today, please go ahead and just send me a message on the sidelines. I'll be happy to help you. And I don't think anyone's called in from a phone number today, so you're all well aware of that rule. You must be on your Teams application in your laptop to get credit. All right, Nikki, let's start this session. Back to you.
Okay. Thank you all. Go ahead. If you think that you could walk through those housekeeping rules yourself by now. Okay, so some of you can't. Yeah, you've heard them, right? So you know the drill already. Well, let's get started. The plan for today's session is to look at Country's vision and how it's connected to strategic planning for your business. So we're going to share some resources that will help build your personalized marketing plans. Kim is going to take you through an activity to get some practice navigating those tools and resources. And by the end of the session, you should have a really great idea for how you'll approach growing your business using what's available to you as a country rep. And part of being a country rep is understanding our company's vision. And that vision is to enrich lives in the communities we serve. This shouldn't be the first time you've seen this mission statement now, especially in week 4 of rep training. And a few months ago, I had to give a presentation to our training team members on our mission statement. And in my presentation, I asked the team members to consider 3 communities that they're part of or they're passionate about. So I want you to think about some communities that you're part of or some things that you're passionate about. Then in my training, I asked them to do some reflecting and to think about what they were doing to enrich lives in those communities. So I'm going to ask you to do the same thing. As a rep and business owner, going beyond sales to serve communities you're passionate about is what's going to lead to the lasting success for yourself and also for our company as a whole. So think about how you can incorporate those communities into your work to level up the kind of insurance representative that you are for Country Financial. So let's do some level setting to define marketing, and then we will discuss resources available to help you make connections within those communities that you serve. So what is marketing? Go ahead and raise your hand and tell me, what does marketing include, or what's your idea of it? How would you define it? Jimmy, thank you for raising your hand. What are your thoughts?
So it's just advertising for the services that I provide to the community. I mean,
Absolutely. Stacy, what do you have to add to that? I see Bill has the purpose of the company in there. Stacy, what do you think?
And then just getting your name out there so everyone, knows that you're in the area. What, like Jimmy said, what you're doing. Yeah.
What are you doing? Who are you? What are you doing? Where are you doing it? Jeremy, what do you have to add?
Kind of along very similar lines, but like building presence for your brand, and like it might be like traditional advertisements, but also things like going to events, shaking hands, like all that kind of stuff kind of falls under the umbrella.
Absolutely. Marketing is putting the right message in front of the right people at the right time over time. So a combination of everything that you all said, that's what marketing is. And delivering that message begins with having a solid content strategy. And as reps, you are the frontline communicators when it comes to our brand representation. So visually, how are you showing up at those different places that you are part of within your community or that you're attending when you go to those events? So Country's brand team has created content to help you represent your business and reach those clients. So think about content as any information that's presented with a purpose. Here on this slide, you see a Country rep who is at a showcase event with all kinds of content. What is he using to show up in the community? What are some different examples of content that you see on this slide? You can use the chat or raise your hand, whichever you prefer. Logos, great job, Ari. Yes, we see those logos. We see the Country brand. Jimmy.
tablets to do some fast quoting, some brochures, and a big old huge smile with Country.
Yeah, yes, all of those things. And I see pamphlets. We've got that in the chat now too. So you see that documentation that's in there, the mission and vision statement. Wonderful. So you're picking up on all of those things. These are the types of content that you have access to as a Country rep. You're going to have access to pre-approved marketing materials, to Country store merchandise. Who doesn't love some swag when they go to different events? Social media messaging. So you have access to that as your content. Highly recommend working through the consulting to boost your social media presence to reach as many different types of clients as possible in your marketing efforts. And then those content resources that you commented on, the guidelines, templates, any type of training that you have available to you. That is content. And this is going to help enhance client experiences and help build those lasting connections because you're memorable. People can visually recognize your brand presence. So let's talk about logos, because our brand is more than just a logo. It's a combination of elements that create consistency. But logos are something that we are going to remember. It's a huge part of marketing. Give me a thumbs up if you can picture the Nike logo in your mind right now. Oh my gosh, Ari, you just mentioned Nike. That's hilarious. Yes, we can all picture that swoosh, right? It hasn't changed. It's been consistent over years, and that's part of marketing is consistency. The people endorsing it might have changed over time as the brand evolved or the intended audience has shifted, but the message remains the same. How are we supposed to feel when we see Nike? How should you feel? You can raise your hand or chat. You guys have been doing a good job with that. Now, you think of just do it. Bravery, right? Just do it means go for it. We are brave. What else? Oh, I like it. Empowered. Victory. Lots of things. So we all associate certain emotions with that Nike brand. As a rep, when you're distributing country branded content, what do you want to communicate? Do you want to communicate that just do it message? Do you want people to feel bold or empowered? What are some different words that come to mind when you think of that country logo and how you want to make your clients feel when it comes to our country brand? We're huge. Trusting, I like that bit. What do you mean by trusting? Do you mind coming off mute?
Just knowing that we have your best interest in mind and that you can trust that we're gonna take care of you from beginning to the end.
Insurance.
Wonderful. And Daniel mentioned that too, trust and security taken care of. Great. See, we can tell that our brand is consistent here at Country because a lot of you are using some of the same words to describe how you want your clients to feel. So there are some pre-approved options for you to use in your business branding. You create awareness. There's certain colors, certain fonts and photos, and you'll decide as a rep which is most relevant for your marketing practices when you're showing up in the community. So that country logo in the middle of the slide, right here, it shows our different lines of business. If you don't have a really strong presence within the local community as far as Country's brand goes, you may want to use that logo to highlight the different lines of business and types of services you offer. But these are all pre-approved options, and Kim is eventually going to take you on a scavenger hunt to find where you can do some branding. And how you show up in the marketplace matters. This is important. So in addition to Country's logo, how your name shows up is going to be something that you get to work through when building your brand. So you get to personalize it based on whether you are an individual rep or if you are a rep in partnership with other reps or as part of a group. So there are agency naming standards. You don't just get to choose what the name of your business is going to be based on how you're feeling. There are some standards. So right now, as your name stands for your organization, give me a reaction looking at those approved and not approved names, if you are or are not in a line. And I won't necessarily call you out, but I want you to be mindful that there are some approved and not approved. What kind of reactions do you have? Do you love it because you're approved? Are you a little surprised because maybe you have some more work to do? Do you have an agency name at this point? Is anyone surprised by what's approved or not approved? You have some mixed emotions, no names yet. Kim,
Yeah, I just wanted to pop in here because when I was naming my agency, I had a lot of different ideas. And looking back on it now, being years removed from it, I'm grateful for these parameters that Country kind of gives us because they worked so hard to create this brand recognition, and I didn't want to differ from that too much. Now looking back on it, you know, I wanted to be the Acre Insurance Group, or you know, I wanted to have my own spin, my own, and that's fine. But at the same time, keeping within the parameters. When you see the Kimberly Acre Insurance Agency, it's just so much more powerful. They know exactly where I'm coming from as part of Country Financial. So looking back on this, it's a big decision as you get to name your brand, kind of create that stamp. But I do now, looking back, appreciate the parameters set here for what we do here.
thanks, Kim. And I think I was on a training at one point, and one of the reps mentioned, I don't think I followed these rules, or these rules might not have been around when I was rep because that wasn't how I named my agency. So that's why I brought that to your attention. If you do have any questions about how your name is showing up in the marketplace, reach out to your field marketing specialist. So you have a support system to help you as your brand is showing up in the community. As a rep, your focus should be on your clients. This is what you want to do to build your business and to build that community presence. So fortunately for you, Country has an entire team dedicated to making sure you have that pre-approved material to use to meet those insurance regulation standards. Because raise your hand if you know that there are a lot of rules and regulations when it comes to insurance regulations. Or maybe not raise your hand, you can give me a thumbs up if you'd rather do that. There's a lot that we have to sift through to make sure that we are compliant. So Country's invested in you and said, I will take on the compliance part of this. You just need to follow these rules using these tools and these resources. So how great for you that they have invested this kind of marketing material into enhancing your business. Bill, did you have a question?
I did not, I just accidentally hit it.
Okay. High five to you. I'm going to turn things over now to Kim so she can take you into some of those brand strategy resources to help with all of your marketing needs. And then we will revisit some more in detail after that. So take it from here, Kim.
Thank you, Mickey. So yes, of course, here we are. I want to show you some pre-approved amazing materials and resources that you have for marketing. And so what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna share my screen in a moment, and then I'm gonna walk you through some of our brand builder site, show you how to get there, and show you what's available to you while you're in there. After I do that, we're gonna come back together here, and then we're gonna give you a couple of questions and a chance to explore on your own, and really just get familiar with using brand builder. Does that sound fair enough? Okay, let's go ahead and I'm going to share my screen now, and then Mickey, once I have my screen up, I want you to give me a Kim, I can see your screen, please.
And I can see your screen.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. So here we are. This is the SharePoint for your agency news. I'm sure all of you have been here. It might even be your homepage when you open up your internet browser. So from here, just wanted to highlight, if you go over to agency resources, guys, this is where you're going to find a slew of fantastic resources, including your marketing. So from here, quite easy. We went down to the marketing tab and look at that, Country Brand Builder. So that's how you would get here when you are looking to open up Brand Builder. So in a moment, we'll drop that link for you to get your agency news open and get to your Brand Builder. But I've already got it set up right now, so you should be able to see my Brand Builder site. So we're going to go through a couple things here, but I wanted to show you how cool this really is and how robust your options are and how easy it is to navigate. So first of all, you've got all these tabs up here, the marketing materials, the country store. And by the way, if you haven't been there yet, lots of great merchandise that you can purchase, including those shirts with the polos, jackets, things like that you can wear to represent and show your brand off as you're walking around. You're going to have social media and resources. I know that Mickey's going to walk through a lot of this. So really, I'm going to spend a few moments talking about marketing materials specifically. So I love it when you hover over, you can see a lot of very popular areas you can start with for marketing materials that are built out for you. You can also search by product specific materials right here. So if you're looking for something specific to start marketing auto or home, or maybe you're about to target some farm or commercial prospects, a lot of fantastic product specific items there for you. But the first thing that I think is really key here, once you hop into your brand builder, you can go down to the searching marketing materials right here and get to where you want to go. So one of the, I think, best things that I started doing early on is there's an insurance flyer that you search product and service. It's going to pop up with some options here. I mean, you can search for nearly anything here, but let's want to show you one of my favorite things that I always included in my client packets. And so this insurance and financial services flyer, it's going to have a nice broad overview of the products and services in which you serve. So of course, when you're starting with a new prospect or client, It might be auto, home, or combination of a couple unique needs there. But what this really does for you is called the Insurance and Financial Services Flyer. And you see I've got that favorited already, so this is something I have to come back to often, but I would customize and print out a ton of these because I always included this into my new client packet. This is what's so cool, is that people don't know what's available to them until you tell them. And so part of your marketing approach should be trying to remind or tell them in different ways over and over again to stay top of mind. So part of this is going to have, all of that life and health, personal, agribusiness, commercial, everything that could be available to you. And maybe you're not financially licensed yet, guys, but you're still going to be an option for them to get financial planning services through the RAFA program, right? So it still could be included into this flyer as a part of your offering. When you come to me at Country Financial, here's everything that you have available to you. So what's cool about this, they might only be thinking, oh, I really need to change my auto insurance. When they see this, they might go, oh my goodness, I had no idea that I could get help for all of these things. And I can really be a one-stop shop just partnering with you. And you're going to say yes. So if you're the Jimmy Smith or the Stacy Prop Insurance Agency, guess what? You offer all of these things and you can customize this with your picture and your information and include that in every client packet. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you. You can, of course, click build here. Once you go into build, whether it's a business card or one of these flyers, could be a billboard you're putting together that you want to market yourself with, any of these things, you're going to have the option to go in here and fully customize. How do I want my name to appear? Do I want to include an image? Which image do I want to use? And you can really just identify all of the information, and that's going to show you a preview how it's going to look. So give me a thumbs up if that makes sense and you're excited about the idea of having all this pre-approved content for you, these materials ready to go at your fingertips. And it's so easy, guys. It's basically like an Amazon shopping experience from here, right? You tailor it yourself, make it work for you. At the end, you click finish, and it's going to go to your cart. That's going to be up at the top here. So let me cancel out of this so I can show you a few more tips and tricks while I've got you here. Okay, and who's heard of the co-op, the marketing co-op? Go ahead and drop a reaction if that sounds familiar. Okay, so co-op, okay, Ari, raise your hand. No. Okay, so co-op means that you have marketing dollars available to you. So if you don't know what that means, we're going to talk about that a little bit more here. But essentially, you have these marketing dollars that you can use to then purchase marketing materials, whether you're sponsoring a hole at a golf tournament or you want to join, let's just say, a marketing networking organization, anything you're going to do to market yourself within your community, you have these marketing dollars to use. I'm not going to give you the percentage because that's one of your questions coming up, but you do get reimbursed a percentage of that. So what's really cool is when you go to your shopping cart after perusing your marketing materials, okay, you're going to get to your shopping cart. I just want to show you before I come back to your exercise to walk through this website. I just want to show you what this looks like because I think it's so cool that you'll have the access from here to actually see your balance for the marketing co-op program right within the shopping cart. So although I don't have co-op because I am home office agency training, you would have visibility of the marketing dollars that you can then use, like kind of like credits shopping. So as you can see here, super easy shopping cart, very similar to online shopping with Amazon or anything that you're familiar with there. All right, so with that, I know that I went through a lot of information here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and come back to you. So Mickey, if you could pull up the slide deck one more time.
I sure will. Just a second here.
And once I come back to you, I'm gonna drop you a link for the agency news. Like I said, we want to go into brand builder, but I want you to get really comfortable navigating agency news and getting to the brand builder marketing area yourself. So I've dropped the link for you now. If you could all go ahead and take a moment, open up agency news, and then give me a thumbs up when you've got that open. Come back to me and give me a thumbs up when it's open for you. Lots of thumbs up. Perfect. So you saw me do it a second ago, but it's all good. All good, Ari. Once you've opened up agency news, you're gonna hover over those resources, go to marketing, and then click on country brand builder. Okay. I'm gonna give you guys 5 minutes to explore this site. And I want you to be comfortable navigating the site. So you're gonna have 5 minutes, and there's 4 questions on this screen. So first, we're asking you to figure out what percentage will country match for eligible co-op dollars this year. So this is your marketing dollars, right? So you're going to find out for you what percentage will country match for eligible marketing co-op dollars. Okay. Then you're going to find out how much does it cost to pull a lead list of cold prospects from Sales Genie. Okay, that might be a different area. Like I said, we only really navigated the marketing materials, but there's a lot of resources on that brand builder site. So you might need to explore a few more tabs. The next question you're going to be answering is, where can you find pre-approved logos to download content? And then what's a specific business partner or COI that you can target within the micro business owner's core client demographic? Okay, so 4 questions, and really all you're tasked with right now is to turn your cameras off and take these 5 minutes to try to get all 4 answered. And then after 5 minutes, we're going to pop back on, ask you to come back onto camera, and then I'm going to see if we get volunteers to answer all 4 of these questions. So, any questions for me or Mickey as you get started on this field trip to Brand Builder? Okay.
Well, I put in there 12:04 for the return time for the activity, if that's okay. So I believe in all of you. I'm wishing you well on your scavenger hunt adventure.